I was talking last night about certain Masaʿil which belong to namaz and about Najasat and Taharat. Now, those clothes which are being given for dry cleaning, now dry cleaning is not a process of Taharat. That means if a najis cloth is given for dry cleaning, originally najis, from the home that I am sending it to a dry cleaner, it is a najis cloth already. If it goes for dry cleaning, it does not come back pak. This is what you must understand. The process of dry cleaning does not make a najis cloth pak. But if the cloth has gone pak to dry cleaner, it comes back pak. This is what it means, that whether you give it, as long as it is all in automatic machines these days, Ayatollah Hui has made it very explicit and clear that things which you have not seen to become najis in any process, it is not wajib upon you to go into all the details to try to find out. For example, to go and ask the machine operator, how do you operate and how many times do you handle by hand? And I want to see how you are doing it all. That sort of problem is not ours. You give it and you know that there is an automatic machine, it works on that, and you take out. If it has gone pak, it will come back pak. But if it has gone najis, it will not become pak, because the process of dry cleaning is not tahar. But in these automatic laundries that we see these days, coin operated, because there is abe kathir, that means full water, much more than abe qalil. It is from the tape which goes in and cleans your clothes. Therefore the clothes you clean or you give for cleaning in there is pak, it becomes pak immediately. The only problem will be when you put it into a dryer. If you put it into the dryer there, because the dryer has been used by all the people, pak and najis, and there is no process of taharat there, then there is no possibility of clothes remaining pak. But only washing, of course, will keep your clothes pak, because it is being washed by abe kathir, by abe jari. Now, the problem is that concealing, or rather hiding najasat, does not make your clothes pak. This is quite funny, but it happens. In rain, when people find that the edges of their pants have become najis, they very conveniently fold it up and hide it from God. Now, because he does not see, therefore it is pak. But upturns like this does not make cloth pak. Salaamu Alaikum. Salam. You have got to be careful. On the contrary, the more you fold it, the more it goes on becoming najis. So you have got to see that it is made pak, if it has become najis. But hiding anything does not make it pak. Either remove that or make it pak, and making it pak is very simple. In any case, the taharat itself for salat and for namaz is very important, and that is taharat which is zahir. Taharat of inside is something else. Zahir is also absolutely necessary. This I am explaining only because I find that many questions arise out of this. Some questions are such which I would not even like to deal with, but I have to. For example, people ask, what do you think about aftershave? Now, since there is a question of shaving there, but I am answering on with the niyat of people who use aftershave who have beard. Because even there you have got to trim and then you use aftershave. Well, according to Ayatollah Al-Hui, industrial spirit which is being used in such preparations like varnishes, like paints, and like the aftershave lotions, and all those in which industrial spirit is being used, that is all pak and is not najis, including the perfumes which have preservatives or which have a certain percentage of alcohol to see that the fragrance or the smell sticks and does not go out. That is all pak according to Ayatullah Al-Khui. Industrial spirit, those which are that which is being used in preparations of medicine, all these things according to him are pak. Of course, the methylated spirit or the spirit which is drunk for the sake of intoxication, that is haram and also najis. This has got to be understood. There is a difference. Therefore, petrol which you put into your car, if a drop of it falls upon your cloth is pak, is not najis. Another thing which has come to my attention is about mas'ala of tabi'iyat. Many people, men and women, are still in doubt, so let me clarify it as it goes with najasat and tahara. When you wash the dead body there, ghusl mayyit, after having washed, the takhta or the plank of wood or whatever upon which the body is laid becomes automatically pak. When you finish 3 ghusl, then you don't need to take a pipe and wash. Everything becomes pak together with the body. So when a najis thing becomes pak, all those things which are attached to it become pak automatically, including your hand with which you have been handling the body and washing the body. Your hand becomes pak at the end of 3rd ghusl automatically. If you have been wearing gloves, your gloves become pak automatically. Bil-ittisal. In Risala of Ayatullah, you will see that the example given is that if there is a pot which contains wine, and if it turns into vinegar, which happens, vinegar is pak and it is eaten, vinegar we take. If it turns automatically into vinegar, that vinegar is pak and the pot itself becomes pak together with it. You see, the process of taharat took place and the pot is together with it, pot becomes pak together. So this is called ittisal and tabi'iyat. But what is most important is when you give the first ghusl to body of a mayyit, it is still not fully pak. When you give the second ghusl, it is still not fully pak. It becomes total pak at the end of 3rd ghusl. So in between the first ghusl, second ghusl, whatever water sprinkles onto your cloth, that is najis, and you've got to go and change the clothes and have ghusl mayyit and then come for namaz. People think that because it has been said that my hands become pak, therefore all the drops which have fallen onto my clothes automatically become pak. That is not the question. The question is, whatever has been touching and has been in contact with the body becomes pak automatic. To many minds, this sort of Masaʿil is still baffling, and they feel that why is all this? But there will always come a time when you will realize that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has kept an effect in all such causes, and when He has prescribed those 12 things of najasat, every najasat has an adverse effect upon our ruh, our spirit. And in order to prevent that adverse effect, we have been asked to remain aloof, even in zahir, that means in our appearance, and also in batin. It is for this reason that the Prophet repeatedly said, keep in wuduʿ. Always keep yourself in wuduʿ. Even if you don't come for namaz, you are going out for house, keep yourself. And if janabat has become wajib, ghusl, or even hayd and nifas and istihada, do not come out of the house till you have performed ghusl. Or if the time of ghusl is still not there, for example, a lady is in hayd and the hayd is still continuous, then don't come out of the house without wuduʿ. And if you cannot do wuduʿ, do tayammum. But do not come out of the house while ghusl is still upon you. And then he said, if anything wrong happens to you because of that incumbency, that because there is a ghusl janabat and you did not do, blame yourself. Blame yourself for the nuhusat that may occur. Entering your own business with janabat still upon you, your own business, your own shop, you're entering into a shop with janabat ghusl not performed. You're going to a place of work, sitting in your car with janabat ghusl not performed. The nuhusat and that particular curse which follows it is your own accusation, your own, to be for your own responsibility. That's what the Prophet said. Including what we say, some extra spiritual powers adversely affecting our minds, like jinnat and shayateen, where they really exist, they cause problem for you if you do not make a ghusl and if you don't come out of it. This is what, regardless of whether one believes it or not, in my life of these 55 years, I have seen people who said nothing of that sort exists, have come back to say, Mullah Sahab, now we have seen it and please try to help us out. So, to say stubbornly that nothing of that exists, today there is hardly a part of the world, including the Western civilization, which does not believe. Everyone believes that there is an extra power on earth which is also created by Allah. It has got an effect. We do come into contact with them. Lihaza, come into contact with them in taharat, they will not touch you. If you are in wuduʿ, they cannot harm you. If you are in ghusl already, they cannot harm you. But if you are in najasat, even in your own homes, they will harm, and then there will be a problem, and no doctor or psychiatrist can cure that disease. So, and this happens to all. People say, it happens to only us, it doesn't happen to the non-Muslims. It happens, but who knows? We only look at the Mercedes and double R's of the non-Muslims. We look at their color and say they are whiter and they are fairer than we are. We look at the apparent glitter. But as they said in English, all that glitters is not gold. You are looking at them. You don't know what problems they have, do you? You don't know. Because we are only coming into very superfluous contact with them, we think they are happy. And then we are asking our question, Mullah Sahab, આ બધી મુસીબત ખાલી મુસલમાન થયા પછી થાય છે? Because janabat ghusl, no, who does? A Muslim will do. A non-Muslim has got nothing to do with janabat or ghusl janabat. They, all of them, come out in multitude. Nothing happens to them. Everything happens to them. Worse than what Rasulullah has said happens to them. But we don't want to go and investigate into those. What I am telling you is to save ourselves rather than worry for the others. This is what. In Nahjul Balagha, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has been reported by our first Imam, Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, salawatullah salam, said, when the ayah came, أَحَسِبَ النَّاسُ أَن يُتْرَكُوا أَن يَقُولُوا آمَنَّا وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ, that is the ayah of Surah Al-Ankabut. Do people consider that they will be left without being tested? There will be no examination for them. There will be no trial and tribulation in life. They think they will be left simply because they say we believe, and therefore they will be allowed to go the way they like. Everyone will be tested. Faith is a matter when you are tested. How much? So Imam says, I went to the Prophet and said, Ya Rasulullah, I know one thing, that as long as you are among us, alive on this earth, there will be no test, because you are yourself our prophet. Either we believe in you or they don't believe in you. But if they believe in you, then there is always a test. But what test is going to come after you? And the Prophet said, Ya Ali, there will come a time when people will do sins and commit sins and then justify it by changing the name of it. They will pay and they will give interest and accrue interest in the name of business. They will start drinking in the name of tonic. Yes. They will start gambling in the name of windfall of cash and good luck. Bakhta nasib. They will start all sorts of evil in the name of good, under the guise of good. And when that time will come, Ya Ali, it will be a test for every mu'min. When the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be asked and will be probed into and say why, that will be the time. He tells us for taharat, we say why. He tells us that refrain from najasat, we ask why. As if human mind were able to understand everything. There are things which human mind will understand when nature unfolds its secret later on. So many things we never understood, today we understand. But it's not necessary. When Allah has told you, when Rasulullah has told you, do this, Quran tells you, do this, Hadith tells you, do it is for your own good. When that feeling will vanish that there is no sin, and people sitting to preach will stop preaching, Allahu Akbar. And this preaching is not confined to mimbar alone. Preaching means father preaches to children will stop. Husband and wife preaching to each other, not reading majlis. When I say preaching, does not mean that the wife starts reading majlis over the head of the husband. What I mean is when they will stop telling each other what is not to be done and what is to be done. There is a husband who is tarikus salah, does not pray. The wife will never speak a word. There is a husband in the month of Ramadan, eats and smokes. The wife keeps fast, the husband has got Eid every day. And when the Eid will come, he will be the first man. But the wife cannot speak. Why should she? This is the time. Now take a converse. The wife is not praying. Husband is paband, is praying every day. The wife, the daughter is not praying. There's no one to say. If husband says tomorrow he won't be able to enter the house, perhaps. So in these cases where preaching will stop, and when the children will not be told anything, when the father and mother themselves will stop talking to children on matters of religion, on matters of bringing them to path, even as simple as to tell, here is an elder person, come on, say salamun alaykum to him, they will not say. To teach that much only, it's not wajib, but it is akhlaq of Islam. Here is an elderly person, say salamun alaykum to him, they will not teach their children even the ethics of Islam. When that will come, O Ali ibn Abi Talib, that will be the time of severe test for every Muslim. When nobody will be able to tell us and tell the ladies that hijāb is wajib, Allahu Akbar. We invite so many people who come to see us here and we think that they are impressed by our chandeliers and our imambara in our food. We are mistaken. Among the people who come here are ulama, but because this country has got a problem for ulama who wear turban and who wear aba and qaba, because anyone especially wearing black turban is seen, the people here believe that a small Khomeini has come in again, or the spirit of Khomeini has landed here. So they torture, they taunt, they ridicule ulama in the dress, or they don't put on that dress in public. But here many ulama come even without the dress of an alim, without turban, without abaqaba. They come here, we consider that they are one among many. They are all special people when they come. And repeatedly what they have told me is, Mullah, there is no answer to the organization you have. There is no match and equal to your ibadat, to the way you people sit, to the way you people behave, to the way you people do everything that has got to be done in the month of Ramadan. For example, but there's only one sad thing, that your women don't have hijab. They have told us repeatedly. They have put us to shame for that. What they say is right. What they say is 100% right. This hijab has not been understood. Most of us understand this as a scarf only. Scarf is not hijab. Scarf is a part of hijab. Hijab starts in 3 stages. It first begins with casting your glance on the ground. A woman is passing, whether she is in hijab or she is not in hijab, she will answer her God when she dies. But you as a man have no right to look at her. Cast down your glance. Look down. Let her pass. She is somebody's wife. She is somebody's mother. She is somebody's sister. She is somebody's daughter. She deserves that ihtiram, that you don't look at her unless she is a mahram. If she is your daughter, your say daughter-in-law, or something else, your mother. And similarly for the ladies, when they see men who are now mahram, they cast down their glance and go, move out. This is the first beginning, first step towards. Now can you imagine how far Islam has put a barrier? Because a contact first is the glance. Suppose I meet you, what will I do first? I'll look at you and you will look at me. Then what will you do? We'll talk. Second contact. And the third contact is, how are you? And musafa. This is the climax of the contact. Islam has stopped it from the first, because if you begin talking, then of course you will extend your hand to a woman who is na mahram, and she will extend a hand to a man who is na mahram, and then it will culminate into all sorts of evils for which there can be no remedy if it goes beyond control. So the first is the glances. Second, after that comes the dress. And in the dress is that scarf that they wear, in which hair must be concealed. And the dress has got to be loose enough to fall straight upon their front part of the body, so that the shape of the body of a woman is not seen. Either if they have worn inside a dress, outside there is a chadar which falls loosely, so that the shape of the body is not seen. Is no use coming out with tight kurta pajama and having scarf overhead. No, it's just no meaning. This is what is not understood. The third thing is, after this, the isolation of mahram and nahmar. No free mixing is allowed. Many people think once hijab is there, therefore we can sit in the meeting together and have our meetings together, or we can have our get together. We cannot. After the hijab, there has got to be also a segregation. Suppose there is a meeting, they will sit behind, males will sit outside, up. Namaz Jamaat, we put a parda in between, the ladies are there, the gents are there, or there is another hall. But it's not, even in madrasa, the teachers, ladies and gents, freely mixing is haram unless it is absolutely necessary. Those teachers who teach and they come and go without any reason, having tea together, is haram. Not jais. Who told you that it is jais? Even if she is wearing a scarf. Unless it is absolutely necessary. When the headmaster is a male and he wants to give instruction, then of course it's all right. She calls a teacher lady and tells her this is the instruction. But this Madoma Bada Habari, wearing all this and trying to prove to the world that we are in hijab is not correct. When there is a leader of the community or an elder and a lady wants to come for her matrimonial problem, she comes in hijab, she talks aloud. When there is a faqih to whom a lady comes to ask a mas'ala with hijab, aloud. So, to an alim, to an elder of the community, to one where she must go to have some patient listening for the problem she has, to that extent is allowed. But not free mixing like that, because hijab has been. So I request now, those girls especially, who attend Ramadan, the Ramadan month is now drawing to the close. We do not know what will happen till next year. We don't know. We don't know how many of us will be here, how many of us will be elsewhere, or perhaps not even on earth. Or maybe all of us, inshallah, will assemble again. But can there be no understanding on behalf of these ladies who have got nothing to lose and so much to gain if they wear parda? And a parda of this sort, observe hijab in such a manner that the dress allows them, but they don't mix freely. And they come to this place as sacred as Imam Bada or a mosque for a sacred purpose of dua. And they come as if they have come to a cinema house, with hair showing and with dress tight. And they don't feel ashamed that they have come to the house of God. They go to ziyarat and put up hijab and they come back, hijab gone. That means Imam Hussain al-Islam only wanted hijab. They go to Hajj, there they put on hijab. When they come back, they forget about it. Hijab is an adornment of a woman. Hijab is actually an ornament. Hijab is for the sanctity of a woman. People, they don't understand. No girl has been deprived of being educated. No lady has been told that she must not educate herself, or they should be kept ignorant. We say that they will be taught whatever should be taught, but they will be taught with grace and honor. Do not look at the television to judge what a woman should be. Believe me, the Western society has converted a lady into nothing but a chattel of love and sex. I have got to say this from the mimbar because many have argued. I say, look at what they have done. Have they promoted her status or have they demoted her? And Islam says, no, this is not the way. Woman, if you are somebody's daughter, your father has got to give you all the honor more than your son, his son. If you are somebody's wife, you have got your rights. If society does not know of your rights, society has got to be educated. But you have your rights. And if you are somebody's mother, then Jannah is under your feet. If your son does not obey you, that son will not smell the fragrance of Jannah even from 500 light years. What more than that do you want? May Allah grant us tawfiq to understand. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.